Welcome to Table for One. I'm the narrator, and today I'm going to be talking about Terraforming Mars. In today's video, I want to go over the third science fiction corporation from my homemade Bravo pack of corporations based off of existing sci-fi franchises. And in today's video, the topic is Future War Cult from Destiny. Let's get rolling. Alright, and I'm ready to tell you a little bit about Future War Cult from Destiny. And before I jump into it, I just want to remind you real quick, this corporation, as well as the other 8 from this pack, can be found right now for free on my website, tablefor1.games, under free content, where you can also find my first batch of Terraforming Mars corporations and content from other Terraforming Mars content and content from other games as well. So again, tablefor1.games, free content. You can print this stuff out, play it yourself. Okay, let's jump into it. I played Destiny on, what did I play it on? Xbox, whatever Xbox it was at the time. Probably Xbox One, back in maybe 2016, when it was newer, and I haven't touched it since, so it's been a long time. My memory's a little fuzzy. But if I recall, there were 3 factions, might be the word, in the main city that you could join, and they had sort of different philosophies, and really the point was they had different cool gear. So there was New Monarchy and Dead Orbit, and the third was Future War Cult. So I decided to make a Terraforming Mars corporation based off of that faction. Now, Terraforming Mars is not a game that includes combat, typically, not at least direct combat, but this is definitely a combative corporation. Obviously, I've got sort of a solo bent on the games that I choose to play, and on this channel in particular, but this one really gets a lot of its benefit from multiplayer. So I've got that set up a little bit on the map right now. But in Destiny, Future War Cult's whole shtick is that they believe war with the main antagonist, the darkness, is inevitable. And so the flavor text here says, "The fiercest contest lies ahead. This is irrefutable." So I think there's no way around war that it's going to happen. The background image is just the traveler above the earth, which is a pretty iconic image from the Destiny franchise. Interestingly, this corporation starts with a wild tag, which is pretty darn powerful, I think. Gives you a lot of opportunity to get milestones or awards, and also to play your projects early if they've got any tag requirements. So pretty strong start. Other than that, they start with 40 mega credits, as well as you get to increase your production of any one standard resource by 1. So again, any standard resource would be your mega credits, steel, titanium, plants, energy, or heat. It would not include things like animals or microbes or floaters or anything like that. But yeah, right at the outset, you pick any one of these 6 standard resources, increase your production by 1. So that's a nice bonus. And then Future War Cult has an action, and you have 2 choices in your action. So in solo, you just have 1 choice. First choice is draw a card. Definitely nice to have, especially with the wild tag and a production of your choice. It's nice to be able to draw 1 card every generation for free. Worst case scenario, you can get $1 and sell it. So that's it's definitely nice in solo, and it's not bad to have in multiplayer either. But the second action is, I think, the much more interesting one, and it only applies to multiplayer. So I've got a little setup on the board here, sort of a mock situation where we are playing Future War Cult, and we are red. So we have this city and this greenery, and our opponent is blue and has this city with these 4 greeneries around it, and obviously getting a point off of our greenery here. So what Future War Cult can do is, as an action once per turn, you can take one of your player markers, red in this case, and place it on another player's city or greenery that's adjacent to one of your tiles. So this greenery is ours and is adjacent to their city. We can take this red marker and place it here. And now this city, let me grab the card so I can be specific about this. We're not placing a tile, so we don't get any placement bonus. So if this was next to an ocean, we wouldn't get any mega credits for that. I don't know what's below that city, but say it was, card draw or a plant or steel or something like that, you don't get any of those bonuses. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know at least one of the corporations has some sort of bonus for placing tiles, I think adjacent to somebody else's tiles. Like, you're not placing a tile, you don't get any of that. But both players now, whoever was blue as well as whoever's playing as Future War Cult, both players now claim this tile for the purposes of adjacency, requirements, milestones, awards, and victory points. So if we're going for mayor, for example, where you need to have 3 city tiles, I can claim 2, whereas the opponent can only claim 1. So we both have claim to it. If there was a card that required 2 city tiles to be in, for you to have 2 cities to play, this counts. It counts for requirements. Again, it counts for milestones and awards, and it counts for victory points at the end. So at the end of the game, this city is touching 5 greeneries, so the blue player would get 5 victory points for this city, and then I would also get 5 victory points for that city. So I think that's super strong and interesting, but not. I don't think it's overpowered. You can only do it once per turn, and it does have to be a tile that's adjacent to one of your tiles. But it also allows for an interesting move like this. Perhaps the next generation, I do the same thing now from here to here. So we both have that greenery. And then that would allow me to place a greenery here. And maybe there's oceans here, and I get a bunch of mega credit bonus for all that adjacency. I can place that there because it's adjacent to one of my other tiles. Whereas normally, I would not be able to place a greenery there. Under normal circumstances, it would have to be touching one of my other tiles. So I could expand outward and then gain access to this other spot. Of course, in this example, that took a minimum of 2 generations to get that done. So again, I think there's some reasonable restrictions on this, but it's also, it can fundamentally change the way that the players around the table look at area control. And they're going to want to stay away from you, which has some benefits, but it also can be detrimental. So I think that's definitely unique, and I think it captures the combative nature of Future War Cult from Destiny, without needing to introduce any sort of combat element to this game. Which it certainly does not need. But it definitely gives you the impression of this corporation, marching on other corporations' territories and taking some sort of hold and taking things by force. It gives you that impression. So I think that's fun and different. So I'm going to go play right now. I'm going to post at the same time as this video a solo playthrough with Future War Cult. I think it'll be cool, but of course you won't see this second action ability in the solo playthrough because Well, I take that back. As long as I remember, because I almost always forget, on the solo game, you put down a couple of starting cities and greeneries that do not belong to you. So I could, in theory, take those over and get some points for them. So there you go. You can use it in solo too. But anyway, I'm going to go play that. And in 2 weeks, I'll reveal the 4th corporation in this 9 corporation pack. But in the meantime, if you don't want to wait, tableforone.games, go to free content. You can just download them all now and play them. So let me know what you think about this. I'm excited, and I hope you are too. And I'll see you next time. Take it easy.